Hey guys, welcome back to ED Figure Unboxing. If you're finding me for the first time, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the future content. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Son Goku from Dragon Ball. And I know a lot of people are super excited for this, but personally, I was really hyped when they first announced it, but after I got it, I'm just kind of like, meh, I'd rather see some more Dragon Ball Z characters. But that's just my personal opinion. Do let me know in the comments on what you think. This figure looks really awesome regardless. Here's the left of the box, here's the right of the box, and here's the back of the box. And that's not wasting any more time, and bust this thing open and see what we got. And here we have the figure still in the inner packaging, and he does come with a fair amount of accessories. You can just tell Bandai pours a lot of resources on Dragon Ball line. But personally, I feel like the facial expression choices is a little bit weak, but I might be a little bit biased because I don't like smiling faces, and this figure has two of them. I feel like one is sufficient. I'd rather see something more serious, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Do let me know in the comments on what you think, and they can always release another Goku with more expressions. So yeah, you can never have enough Goku. But anyways, let's check out the figure itself. Alright, so here we have the figure itself. And as expected from S.H.Figuarts, everything is very nicely painted and sculpted. I don't seem to have any paint issues, and the joints are really tight. The figure could definitely use some shading, but it doesn't really bother me personally. And let's take a closer look at the figure. And do let me know in the comments on what you think, but I feel like the proportion looks a little bit weird to me. I feel like the head is way too big in particular, but I know this is how he's supposed to look like, but I kind of wish the head could be just a little bit smaller and they can make his arm a little bit longer, because when he punches, like, this is as far as it goes. But I guess it's a really great display piece regardless. But anyways, let's jump straight into the articulation. And for the articulation, let's quickly go over it from the neck down. You can look up about this much, can't really look down. You can turn its head, no problem. And the shoulder is on a really good butterfly joint. You can move it like that. You can raise his arm up about this much. You do have shoulder swivel, bicep swivel. You can curl about this much, and you do have the ball wrist. And for the ab crunch, you can bend forward about this much, bend backwards about this much. You have some very good side-to-side movement. And for the leg, you can kick up about this high, bend about this much, thigh swivels, side-to-side pivot, and toe hinge. I know this is pretty standard for S.H.Figuarts, but the articulation is amazing, especially on such a small figure, right? Some serious figure engineering went on this guy. But yeah, let's jump straight into the accessories. And for the accessories, we can start with the default head, and it looks really good. And next up, we get a signature Goku smiling face. And then we have another innocent smiling face. And for the interchangeable hands, we get a pair of style posing hands, a pair of scissor hands, and then we get a pair of open palms, a pair of karate chop, and then we get a pair of Kamehameha hands. And you can also use it to hold the 4-star Dragon Ball, which is very nicely painted and sculpted with the translucent plastic, but it doesn't really clip on or anything. So yeah, it just kind of like sits on there. And next up, we get a pair of hands to hold the power pole. The power pole is very nicely painted and sculpted, and this is probably my favorite accessories on this figure. And here is the, do you call this a sheath? I'm not sure what you call this, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, this is just where you store the power pole. And let's try to assemble this. And here I have Goku assembled with the power pole, and it looks absolutely amazing. And then we do get two kinds of tail. You just kind of like plug it over here. Wow, this is really tight, tighter than I expected. But yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's very, very nice. Let me try to balance it. And lastly, we have the cloud, which is very nicely painted and sculpted, and it's also got a fair amount of shading on it. You can also articulate the tail, which is really cool. And yeah, I believe that's it for the accessories, and let's check out some action poses. That was just some quick posing, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. And after playing around with it, the figure has definitely grown on me. However, I still feel like the body is a little bit too small for my taste, but the amount of accessories they include in there does make up for it. I had a lot of fun posing with it. But anyways, let's check out some action poses. And for the size comparison, let us start with the Dragon Ball Z S.H.Figuarts. And as you guys can see, it seems like Dragon Ball is gonna have their own scale, which I'm okay with, I guess. And next up, we have some S.H.Figuarts Naruto figures. And then we have some S.H.Figuarts Street Fighters figures. Some American IP S.H.Figuarts. The Amazing Yamaguchi Wolverine and Magneto. And then we have some Mesco 112 collective figures. And lastly, we have some Figma figures. And let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, I think the figure is really solid and I do highly recommend it. Beautiful paintwork, amazing sculpt, and he does come with a lot of accessories. And like I talked about earlier, the only issue I have with the figure is probably the facial expression choices and the proportion, but that's just more of a personal preference. Do let me know in the comments on what you think. And this is Eric. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!